Hey, what's up everybody? Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and we're going to be playing some Standard today with a Feather deck. Feather is probably one of the coolest cards that came out of War of the Spark. You guys know this card by now. 3 mana, 3/4, very color intensive, but whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets one of your dudes, you get that spell back on the next end step. So it chains off with things like Defiant Strike or Reckless Rage being the premier removal spell. This is not a tuned list or anything. This is something I've been playing in just best of one matches to kind of fulfill my daily requirements on Arena, and it's been pretty fun. Some of the cards that I had tried out in this deck were Krenko, the 3 mana 1/2 that makes goblins when it attacks. I tried out Dreadhorde Arcanist, the one that lets you cast spells out of your graveyard when it attacks, and then I also tried out Runaway Steamkin, just because sometimes you can loop red cards, but most of the cards you're looping are these white cards, God's Willin being one of the new ones. I used to play Sheltering Light, is that what it's called? The one that gives a creature indestructible, yeah, this card. We used to play Sheltering Light as kind of our protection spell, but now we have God's Willin, which is just better, and you still get the Scry 1. Defiant Strike, I didn't want to go overboard and just play like 4 of these, so leaving it to 2. And then the main card that kind of lets you get ahead of people when you're behind is Reckless Rage, because you can keep looping Reckless Rage on a Feather or basically any creature that doesn't die to it, and it's just a solid removal spell. So 1 red, kill an opponent's creature each turn. Healer's Hawk I'm playing because there just aren't really good 1-drops to play in this sort of deck. I'm not playing Fanatical Firebrand or some nonsense. I have a split of Shocks and Lightning Strikes. Again, Shocks to kind of interact early. I found that there are decks that just play Land of War Elves or Fanatical Firebrands, Lava Runners, and you want to be able to kill those creatures on turn 1, but the Lightning Strikes still have a lot of leverage. Hero of Precinct 1 is the kind of test card that I'm trying out here. There are plenty of gold creatures, including the Hallmark Feather here, on top of this 1 of Integrity, Aurelia, and Tajik being our top end, plus a single Heroic Reinforcements, and we're already playing 4 of these guys. And 4 Boros Challengers. So Hero Precinct 1 often makes a guy, and I think this is just a better inclusion than Runaway Steamkin or Dreadhorde Arcanist. And Healer Hawk, just to have a 1-drop that Mentor works pretty favorably with. The cards that I'm quote-unquote really trying out that I don't think are actually that good are Sky Knight Vanguard and Swiftblade Vindicator. These are just dorky 2-drops that give us another gold creature for hero, but also benefit from having pump spells on them, or being mentored onto, or, you know, just have an opponent stumble or something like that, and you can get in there with, like, a really beefy Swiftblade Vindicator. Sky Knight Vanguard, I don't think this card's going to perform very well, which is why it's a 1 of, but that's how I like to test cards out that I haven't seen in action yet, is play a 1 of, whenever you draw it, see how it performs in that position, and then if it's just performing very, very well consistently, try adding a couple more. That's kind of my philosophy here. I don't have any of the Scry lands yet. When the Clifftop Retreats rotate, I'll probably replace those with 4 Scry lands, but for now I like the Retreats. And and I don't actually have any of the Scry lands on Arena yet, so that's what we're going to be playing. We're going to play through 5 or 6 best of 1 matches. This is designed to be a best of 1 deck. I don't even have a full sideboard put together, but hopefully you enjoy. And let me know what your Feather builds look like. I know this is a fairly popular Standard card right now, and very popular in Commander, but can't play that on Arena yet. Now can we? Feel free to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if there's anything interesting you saw here. Leave a like if you appreciate this sort of content. Let me know that it's worth my time to do more Standard videos. And you can find us on Twitter at @MTG_Minarocks. Alright, enough talk. Let's go and get into some matches. Alright, we're here for match number 1 with our Feather deck. We've got kind of a limited hand here. You know, 1-drop, 2-drop, and then a bunch of nonsense. But it's got some decent curve out. Probably play Hero on turn 2 into Swiftblade Vindicator. Could use, you know, something that's not just a bunch of nonsense, but we'll see what we're up against. Pedro here. Alright, Pedro, show me some good news. Best of 1 I've found has a pretty wide array of decks, which is why I like to play it when I'm recording videos. People don't just play the top tier deck in Best of 1 like they do in every other format. But let's go Hero Precinct 1, and let's go ahead and jam for 1. I've actually liked the Healer's Hawk in this deck quite a bit. You can often mentor onto them, make it a 2/2 with something like Tajik, and then I guess they're going to kill Hero here. Guess we're playing against Esper Control, which I don't know why people bother playing Esper control decks in best of one. Like, go somewhere else, please. But is what it is. Our hand really sucks. Like, we could have used a Tajik there. That's usually how you get ahead of these Esper decks, is by playing a bunch of hasty creatures. But unfortunately, we drew a bunch of lands and not a lot to pressure our opponent. We're going to God's Willing. I guess if they have Little Teferi, that's annoying. Oath of Kaya. Let's let that resolve. We'll go in God's Willing in response. This should fizzle the ability too, so they won't gain life. Give pro black. Jeez. Go to the bottom. Oh, Heroic Reinforcements? That's actually pretty good. I assume they're just going to Kaya's Wrath us, and then we'll just go to the next match. But we get a nice little chunk for, I guess, 10 because of the double strike. So, no Kaya's Wrath, please. I'll just concede if they Kaya's Wrath. I can't beat that. Cry of the Carnarium is another one that kills us. Elite Guard Mage. That's also pretty strong, but, I mean, Lightning Strike? Something? Sky Knight Vanguard. Do I attack here for 3? Probably not. I'll hold tight for a turn. Very nice stabilizing card. A concession to best of one, I think. I'm not sure if you play this card main board in best of 3 matches. Okay, Oath of Kaya is going to take out our Vindicator, I'm assuming. And they gain life too. Unfortunately, all their cards are 2 for 1 in us while also gaining life. Lightning Strike. Well, seems pretty obvious we should Lightning Strike this and just attack for 5 here. Sky Knight Vanguard's going to do its best Hero Precinct 1 impression. And we'll pass. Alright. Maybe I should be running more Heroic Reinforcements, but I didn't want a ton of oh, we're playing against Esper Hero, of course. That makes the Oaths make more sense. And Thief of Sanity, gross. Draw Feather. Feather's not bad. Fortunately, we don't have a good attack here. This would be awesome if I had my Reckless Rage. I can just shoot down creatures left and right. Don't feel like we're making it out of this one alive. This is a very well-suited deck against us. Another Guard Mage isn't the worst, though. Yeah, Reckless Rage is probably one of our best draws here. If they attack with the Thief, then they could be running, not Dismember, but what's it called? I don't know. You know, that card. This is where having anything that trigger... Basically, any of our cards that trigger off Feather are good here. God's Willing is a nice protection spell when our opponent draws something. Reckless Rage would actually probably just win us the game. Defiant Strike to draw extra cards. Okay. Opponent doing some math, it seems. Narsets. Well, Narset's decent against us, but not the end-all be-all. It really only stops our Defiant Strikes. Really cool art on this Narset, though. They whiffed. Okay. And they don't have lands in hand, from what I can tell. Also tapped out on blue mana now. Nope. Tapped out by choice. Alright, give me Reckless Rage. Aurelia's pretty good. Aurelia actually lets me start attacking. So I can give the Healer's Hawk. Oh no, they've got D-Spark. Jeez, just getting us with the main board cards. Alright. Well, back to you, Tom. 2 cards in hand from the opponent, plus a Narset activation. Defiant Strike wouldn't even be the worst, because I can cast it on their turn. I assume they're going to cast this other Narset. Try and dig for something else. That is exactly what they do. Yeah, I can cast Defiant Strike on their turn to draw a card. I just can't draw an extra card on my turn. Nice that Feather dodges D-Spark. Does not dodge Tyrant Scorn. That is a pretty good answer to Feather. A lot of their removal does not kill it, though. But let's see what this Narset hits. Tyrant Scorn, so they're going to go ahead and kill our Feather. We'll give it one more draw here and then concede. We're playing a losing match here, but we've got decent top decks, so let's see what happens. Oh, if they just killed it. If they kill one of the other flyers now, then Thief of Sanity is going to get in there. We can pack this one up. Wish my opponent would play just a little bit faster. I hate playing against control decks in best of one. It's just like, why are you doing this? Lightning Strike. Don't really have good attacks here. Just hold that reactively, I suppose. Opponent might be holding another D-Spark. One thing I like about Reckless Rage, it also works with 10th District Legionnaire pretty well, because this will get a counter before the Reckless Rage resolves. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and kill your Thief. Opponent's making a bunch of 1/1s. Not too worried about those. And they can see I have nothing in my hand. Unfortunately, I've only drawn 5 lands, so I have pretty high rate of drawing lands here as well, which is not good for us. Narset minus. Mortify, sure. Sure. Alright, again, I'll just give it one more draw here. They're going to kill Sky Knight to Vanguard, I suppose. They've gained 8 extra life this game off of just Oath of Kaias. No, I guess they played 3 Oath of Kaias. Oh, we God's Willing, they didn't gain life off that one. 9, this gains 3 life. Oh my god, this opponent, this is the worst. Come on, dude. You're either attacking or you're not. Alright, we'll go and pack it in there. We'll pack it in. Not a good showing for the Feather deck, but we also didn't draw any spells that interact with Feather. We drew a God's Willing, but we used it defensively there. But yeah, you can see kind of not great against control, but we'll go and run it back for another game here. Alright, we're back here for another game. This hand, this is kind of the risk you run. You draw too many interactive spells. Thankfully, these can just cycle themselves, and this hand's fine enough to keep. Again, Tajik being one of the better draws here, so we can go hero into Tajik. But we'll go and lead off with Sacred Foundry and see if our opponent's keeping their hand or not. Aurelia found to just be pretty good in most matchups. 5 toughness gets it around almost all of the key removal spells. And it does beat down pretty hard. Sebak DC. Right. Opponent down to 6. Don't usually expect my hero Precinct 1s to survive, but such is life. Oh, against red, sure. So definitely don't expect our heroes to survive. Definitely just block here if my opponent decides to attack. Okay, well, that's a little weird. I don't know why you wouldn't Lightning Strike first, but, you know, to each his own. Are going to play out 2 creatures. Aurelia is just very good against mono red. They have to use 2 removal spells to kill it, and if you can back it up with the God's Willing or something, it usually gets the job done, and it also plays offense while doing that. Pyromancer's fine. See if they kill our Healer's Hawk here. Probably the one they want to kill. I mean, Defiant Strikes on these on the 10th District guy is fine. No, they do not care about a Healer's Hawk. Sure. So land off the top would be great. Boros Challenger is not bad. Could cycle a Defiant Strike here, just to get an extra point of life back and also try and draw something relevant. 10th District Legionnaire seems just okay. I'm going to play Boros Challenger, though. It blocks pretty well. It eats shocks. They would have to use a Lightning Strike or a Skewer or Wizard's Lightning to kill it. Steamkin. Card that scares me a little bit. No attacks, though. Ooh, and the God's Willing. So I'm going to go 10th District Legionnaire. I'm okay just trading that off. I'd rather hold up God's Will in here. And we get a counter on our Healer's Hawk, too. And they're probably going to cast a red spell. I don't think they have Shock. They would have killed this Healer's Hawk, I'm sure. They are blocking 10th District Legionnaire. I could use Defiant Strike. Or I could just accept this trade. Yeah, seems fine. I'm still at 20 life. They've got 2 cards. They're going to have 3. It's not that bad. And I have a God's Willin'. Plus, if I ever draw a land for Aurelia, I'm looking pretty good. I mean, these Steamkins can go off, but as long as our opponent doesn't draw a Experimental Frenzy, I feel fine. Yeah, this still seems okay. They add a lot of power to the board here, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Go down to 13 here. Okay, that was nice. So this gives... Yeah, so this is just going to pump up the Healer's Hawk. Could pump up Boros Challenger, make it a 4-3, and then get a counter on Healer's Hawk. This is Vigilance as well, so they would have to trade both creatures for it. And we have Aurelia on defense as well. Shabam. We'll just go straight back up to 16 here. Opponent has 1 draw step. Frenzy is exactly what they need off the top. So let's see. The Steamkins can make mana here, and they can kind of go off a little bit. Shock me. Sure, that makes sense. Five mana. Lightning strike the Challenger. Okay, Wizard's lightning me, so they're just going straight in a row. We could just die to this top deck Frenzy. That's the card that scares me most. There's their first land, so if they ever hit another land here, they are done. They have 4 mana floating, though. And there goes all the floating mana. Nope, if their top card was something they could cast, they would play it, so... I don't think their top card was anything. Did go down to 1 there, though. And still haven't seen the feather action, more just like red-white beatdown. But we're rewarded with City Watch Sphinx. Nice. Alright, let's go and jump into another game. Alright, so we are here for our 3rd game. We're going to keep this hand, and I'm just going to lead off with the Clifftop Retreats. We're going to play Hero on turn 2, hopefully followed by 10th District Legionnaire. Blue, huh? White sources are more important in this deck. Just because Feather is double white, you often want to have a bunch of white up. Opponent's going to opt, it looks like. No? Okay. We're against 1, 2, 3. 123. Mono blue? Alright, well, if they have a Merfolk Trickster, that's not that bad. Just trades 1 for 1. Or Essence Scatter, I suppose. Okay. Just attack with everything here. Merfolk Trickster it is. If they target 10th District Legionnaire, I'm just going to Defiant Strike it, I think. Make it a 3-3. And then they'll trade for a Hero, Precinct 1. Ooh, Reckless Rage is pretty good. So this might be that Simic Flash deck or whatever. And trade off for a Hero. And get a nice little chunk. Not 100% sure. It could be like Mono Blue. Yeah, it's definitely the Simic Flash deck. So looks to play all at instant speed. Playing counter spells, removal spells. Thankfully our hand's pretty good here. Just going to jam. Brineborn Cutthroat. Sure. So they're going to play that plus like an opt or something to grow this. Would be my guess. Sure. I see where this is going. Oh, unsummon. Huh. Alright, well I could go Reckless Rage to kill this, but they do play that Wolf. Also, I can just play like Swiftblade Vindicator or something. I kind of want to kill this thing though, so I might go Integrity here. just to get this Brineborn thing. This does get really big against this opponent here. God's Willin would have been an awesome answer. Shabam. And then what's the play here? Maybe just Swiftblade Vindicator? Or probably Challenger. Drawing a land would be nice so I could cast 2 creatures next turn. If they play a green source, they could have Frilled Mystic or that the Wolf, the Ambusher. No, tapped green source is a little different. Alright, let's see if they've got a counterspell. I'm going to go and run out 10th District Dude. I think this deck plays Essence Capture. No, just taking it, huh? Alright, well I'm going to run out another dude. And I might counter this one. Syncopate, sure. Yeah, you can see what our opponent's deck's trying to do. Just play everything at instant speed. And I'm not too worried about it. So I could pump this, actually, and then attack for 3 and 3. My opponent flashes in the 4/4. I don't need to do that, though. Or they could just take 4 and do whatever they're going to do on end step here. Nothing? Nothing. Frilled Mystics for days. Feel like I'm getting baited here. They didn't play a land either. Alright, take a billion. If I cast a Challenger, that just gives them a Frilled Mystic here. Nah, I'm just going to pass. They might have to cast a Frilled Mystic anyway, just to not die. Alright, well, now they have to cast something or they're dead. I should not cast a creature pre-combat here. Yep, here comes Frilly Boy. Let's go and let that just resolve. They're going to have to flash in another creature here. Let them take 2, I suppose. And I will bait them with this Feather. And if they counter it, I will Lightning Strike them. And if they don't counter it, they might just be dead anyway. I kind of like this deck. I kind of want to put it together myself. It seems really sweet. But it is vulnerable to, you know, people getting ahead of you. It really wants to be on the play and just interact with every single thing the opponent does. I don't know about Unsummon. That seems a little sketch. But we get to take another one there. And, again, just playing as a Boros Beatdown deck, really. Haven't seen any Feather shenanigans yet. But let's go ahead and jump into match number 4, shall we? All right, match 4. We've got kind of a good hand if we're against an aggressive deck and a pretty poor hand if we're against a control deck. Control deck it is. Let's go ahead and lead off with the Shock. So, looks like we might be against... Oh, no. Urban Utopia. Didn't expect that one. Alright, Clifftop Retreat, not bad. I could get in for 2, or I could play the Vanguard, which has pretty high upside here. I could see a case for any of the 2 drops. I kind of want to save this for when I can God's Will, and so I think that's out, which leaves me playing the Vanguard here. And again, we want to try this card out. Again, I don't think it's very good. It's like a really... Ooh, Blast Zone. What in the world? Risen Reef, Blast Zone, which I guess is pretty good against me. Another Clifftop Retreat's not bad. So here we can definitely play 10th District Guard and just jam. Opponent's taken 4. And I should probably shock Risen Reef, but I'll wait to see if they play another Elemental here. This card is just absurd. I've said that in some of my limited videos already, but it truly does feel just ridiculous. Alright, so they're going to go ahead and pump that up to 2 drops. Fine by me. Can't God's Willin' through that one. Might just play Aurelia next turn and get a big hit in. And Urban Utopia. Let's go and shock this thing while I can. So I'm going to get a pretty big hit in next turn, but then I'm going to lose these 2 things. My opponent's going to be down a land, and this costs, what, 3 mana to activate? Doesn't really matter where I put this buff. And we do get to keep the 1/1s out of the deal. Plus, we have Aurelia on board now. The Urban Utopias are interesting. I don't see a theme here between the Utopias, the Risen Reef, and this thing. Oh, Flood of Tears, of course. That makes sense. That is a card that makes sense. Well, if I play 2/2 drops here, they're just going to blast zone those creatures away. So maybe I just play Aurelia here and hold up God's Willing. Yeah, so this might be the Omniscience deck. It looks to bounce a bunch of your own permanents and then drop an Omniscience with Flood of Tears. We do have our opponent at 9, but if they just drop an Omniscience and they combo off, then it doesn't really matter. Gonna go and cycle some... No, this is not Utopias. Gift of Paradise. Alright, also pretty good. And then they're gonna play double Urban Utopia, I'm assuming. So I see, they look to play a bunch of land enchantments that cantrip and gain life, and then Flood of Tears, bounce those back, drop the Omniscience. So deal as much damage to the opponent next turn as possible, I guess is the name of the game. Probably playing 10th District Dude. We'll go ahead and pump Aurelia. Attack for 7. Could make it 8. Not quite enough. And I'm going to play Feather here. And pass the turn. Still holding up God Was Willing. Expecting another Flood of Tears this turn. Flood of Tears is fine against 10th District Legionnaire, though. As long as I can continue to pressure the opponent. Risen Reef. Pretty good. Good old cantrip / ramp card. Alright, show me the Flood. Yep, let's just hope they don't have an Omniscience here. If they do, we get to sit here and watch them play for a little while, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Alright, drop your permanent. Oh, just Risen Reef again? Okay. Well, it could have been worse. Another God's Willing. So I can go Aurelia plus 10th District Legionnaire here and threaten to attack for 4. Which I think I'm going to do. I could God's Willing. Yeah, if I had a pump spell in hand, I could actually kill them because I could give Pro Blue. But I can only get this up to 4 power. If I had another land, I could kill them as well. But I don't. Alright, let's get in there, 10th District Legionnaire. See if you want to go down to 1. They've already used 2 Flood of Tears. And remember, they can gain at least 3 life here with the Gift of Paradise. So I'm expecting some Urban Utopias. Leafkin Druid, sure. Okay, 2 mana, cantrip. They are limited on how much mana they have this turn. So they're down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. They're at 4 life. And Aurelia is lethal even if they kill the 10th District Legionnaire with the Blast Zone. Another Gift of Paradise, I'm assuming. 3 mana. Sure. Alright, work is cut out for us. 4 mana left. Double black. Oh, Narset, sure. So we can deal 7 to him, I'm pretty sure. This is 4 in the air, and then we can go God's Willing, pro green, make that 4 power. And they're tapped out now, so I think we got him here. Slogging through a bunch of board wipes. Let's go pro green. Sure, that can stay on top. And go ahead and pump Aurelia. This is actually 8 damage. Nice. All right, so yeah, I mean, you guys saw the game. We just replayed the same cards. 10th District, just having a haste creature there was super relevant to keep the pressure on. Without that, ooh, Wayline of the Void. Without a haste creature, I don't think we would have won that game. They just board wipe us. We're not pressuring them at all. But the 10th District Legionnaire definitely came in handy there. And we'll go ahead and play probably like 2 more matches here. You're getting the feel for the deck, even though the feather thing hasn't come up very often. But let's go and jump into match number 5. All right, match number 5. We've got another just regular Boros hand here. No interaction, no feather. Just hopefully creature into creature into creature. Kind of the game plan against Trismegisto. Sure. Don't know what that means. Would really love a God's Willing in this hand. Feather, you know, is just a good beatdown card, but Feather plus a spell would be kind of the dream scenario, right? Something like Integrity to make a token. Never expect my heroes to survive. And looks like our opponent's either AFK or has a tough mulligan decision. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, so the reason I ended up not playing things like Runaway Steamkin and Dreadhorde Arcanist is because of hands like this. They just don't attack very well on their own. They need other cards, whereas these are all like reasonable cards. The hero kind of fills that same role, but enough of our creatures are gold that we're going to be able to make at least 1/1 if this 1/1 if this survives, and they kind of have to kill it. Okay, opponent, like, come on, man, what's going on? Trismegisto. Ooh, Boros Guildgates. All right, well, we're gonna lead off with hero as promised. Against a red deck, I don't feel too great, but that was a Guildgate, so we shall see. Bzz. Shocking. Sacred Foundry. Okay. Yeah, let's just go Legionnaire here and pass. Hopefully they just play a creature that Reckless Rage kills. They might be a feather deck of their own. 10th District Legionnaire as well. Oh, please go for the pump spell. Go for the pump. Do it, opponent. Oh, they're going to Reckless Rage me. So my guy's going to survive. Oh, actually, my guy still dies, right? We can leave Feather on top here. Yeah, we just kill each other. The maniacal laughter was a unnecessary, and we were drawing Feather. Okay, well, might have screwed the pooch on that one. I don't have anything to combo off with Feather. Could just play double Challenger here. That doesn't seem like the worst. I like to save Feather for when I have a spell to cast in the same turn. God's Willing or something like that. Did just kind of spew that Reckless Rage, though. Uh-oh. See if our opponent goes off. Alright, well, no such luck. We're just going to play our Feather and make it look like we have a spell in hand. Oh no. We're recording with the Feather deck and our opponent's the one who's going to go off with it? That's rude. That is rude. Well, you get to see what the deck does at least. Adonto Vanguard. I have not liked Adonto Vanguard in this deck. Guard for battle. Nice. Well, GG us. Sure. Definitely have to race this now. And we do have to draw a spell. Something like Aurelia would be really good here. Ooh, that's also actually very strong. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have another Reckless Rage in hand specifically. Looks like they do. Oh no, Defiant Strike. Sure. Well, we do get to hit for a lot of damage here. And they have to pay 4 to keep their Vanguard around. So this is 4 plus 12. We're coming in for 16 damage. Actually take more damage, right? Alright. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Opponent's down to 1. Well, let's see if they can kill us on their turn. If not, we might just be able to kill them on our turn. We also have shocks and lightning strikes. Let's see, though. So this is going to be 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 that we know of. So they just have to have 5 more damage with these other 3 cards. Yep, there's the Gird. Gird for you. So that's 10 damage. Defiant Strike makes 11. Oh, no. Gideon, are you kidding me? That's so random. Alright, that's going to give lifelink, I assume. Alright, well. The tides have changed. So they're going to gain 6 here. They're going to go to 7. But don't we just still kill them? Yeah, we actually still just kill them because Gideon is not a creature on their turn. Okay, that could have been worse. Well, you saw what the feather deck was supposed to do from the other side. You saw us also spew a removal spell. But we don't need to talk about all that. Let's go and play one more match and then we'll call it a video set. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you all there. Alright, we're here for the last match. We've got an extremely redundant hand. I'm going to keep this, although I would probably advise against doing so in a major tournament. Mostly because you can't really just get started on turn 3 in Standard. Even playing, best of 1 or something, that's not a good idea. But this is a really good hand if we go Feather into Aurelia, and it's got redundancy. Plus, we could just naturally draw a 2-drop on turn 2, and that would be amazing against Balzachi. Alright, let's go Foundry and pass. On the draw, I would definitely mulligan this, but on the play, I'm keeping. Meow. Meow. Oh, shut up. Alright, opponent's got tough turn 1 decisions. Temple Garden. Commune with dinosaurs. Uh-oh. Naya Dinos? Naya Dinos. Reckless Rage is a nice one with Feather. I guess we also need a 4th land for Aurelia, but if we're not drawing the 4th land, we're going to be drawing probably spells. We only have one other 4-drop in the deck. Yeah, let's go ahead and just run Feather out. Yeah, Naya Dinos. Maybe some sort of Polyraptor combo deck. Wayward Swordtooth, nice. Play an additional land. Also, Reckless Rage does not kill that. I could go for the double whammy, but we're going to go Aurelia and get a chunk for 5 in here. While the opponent's setting up. You could see a big chunker here. They have 6 mana. Most of what they play is not going to die to Reckless Rage. Domri. Okay, so that's going to have Wayward Swordtooth probably fight. Fine by me. And then see if they can kill Feather, too. That'd be really bad. Or what? Okay. Sure. Raptor Hatchling? Okay. Well, things were looking interesting there, and then my opponent played these cards. I could trade Feather for Wayward Swordtooth. I have another Feather in hand. Yeah, this seems fine. That wasn't bad either. Do I just shock Domri here so they can't add mana? Sure. And keep up my Reckless Rage here. So when you're playing this deck, you've got to set a stop on your opponent's second main phase so that you can cast these spells and still get them back at the beginning of your opponent's end step. Which is a little bit weird. Uh-oh. Polyraptor combo incoming. Well, I mean, I have a removal spell for this, so that's not really that bad. Yeah, my opponent's definitely playing that new Marauding Raptor. It makes sense with the Hatchling. It's actually kind of cool. You get a 3/3 out of your Hatchling, and you also give the Raptor, like, +4. Oh, Trapjaw Tyrant. Didn't see that one coming. Thankfully, they're going to have to find another way to deal damage to it, because I'm just going to go and pop this Forerunner on their end step. Might attack with the Hatchling, too. No need to block that. If they have a Lightning Strike in hand, this could be a little annoying. But it doesn't look like they do. So yeah, since I did that on my opponent's second main phase, on their end step, I'll get my Reckless Rage back. Oh no, they do have a Shock or Lightning Strike? Oh, just a Hatchling. Sure. Sure. So my opponent's drawing Trap Jaw Tyrant, which doesn't actually do anything. I mean, it's a 5/5, but whatever. They're going down to 8. And they're actually dead. Oh, yeah, right. Reach. Okay, well, they would have been dead next turn. But alas, they are not. So here comes Trapjaw. Good game. Looks like they're conceding. Sure. All right. That was the Feather deck in action. Again, it looked more like a Boros Beatdown deck, but against opponents who are lacking removal, if you get a fast enough start, you can just beat them with a Boros Beatdown deck. We didn't draw Tajik a single time, which is interesting. Let's go and open some packs while we talk about it. But yeah, the hero of Precinct 1 and those kind of flex 2-drops, the Swiftblade Vindicator and the, what's the other one called? The 2-drop Legionnaire guy. Take them or leave them. If you found a better 2-drop, that's kind of where I'm at with the deck, is the deck just doesn't seem like it has amazing 1-drop creatures. Outside of, like, maybe Lava Runner. I've been happy with the Healer's Hawk, like I said. A lot of times it's pretty easy to, you know, drop an Aurelia on turn 4 or a Tajik on turn 3 and just get this up to a 2/2 where it becomes, like, a real threat against aggro decks and they have to use removal on it. Pretty mediocre without all that, but it's fine. And the show of the deck, really, what I would absolutely play if you're going to build this deck is the 4 Feathers, the 4 10th District Legionnaires, the Reckless Rages, the Godwilling, and the Defiant Strike. Everything else can go however you see fit. The Tajiks I've been happy with. The Aurelias I've been extremely happy with. This card is just very good, especially in Standard. People aren't playing Lava Coil as much anymore, which means Feather gets a pass against a lot of removal like Shock and Lightning Strike, and Aurelia just dodges Lava Coil as it is. Against control decks, you're a little bit on the weaker side, but you're hoping your hasty creatures and your protection spells, God's Willing, will pull the weight for you. Not really a lot you can do against things like Kaya's Wrath, although I suppose if you are scared of Kaya's Wrath, you can run Shelter and Light in your sideboard and swap the God's Willings, or just bring in more Shelter and Light. But what I would advise against is going like full 4-on Defiant Strikes and Girds for Battle like we saw in that one matchup, because if you don't draw the Feather, those cards are just really bad. Defiant Strike at least cycle, so you could run 4 Defiant Strikes, but hopefully we get some decent 1-drops for this deck in the future, because Healer's Hawk I would like to play something else instead, but that's where we're at. And the Boros Challengers I've been, you know, kind of happy with as a card that can just attack and block early, and then the Mentor comes up every now and then. Even the Pump ability gets people sometimes when they try to Lightning Strike it. But yeah, that's our Boros Feather deck. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below, or find us on Twitter at MTG_ManaRocks. Give the video a like if you like this, and if you want to see more Standard videos, or if you have any suggestions for cool non-meta decks or non-tier 1 decks, then I'd be interested to hear from you. With all that being said, my name's Timothy with ManaRocks. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.